Good afternoon, everyone. JR with Secure Metals. Welcome to my technical analysis video. Today is Monday the 24th, 2014. It is 12:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll get right to the video, to the analysis. I hope everyone had a great weekend and looking forward to some serious turkey this coming week. I hope you all are as well. Weekly chart here for gold looking very nice. We found support here in my zone. I did expect deeper penetration, but as of yet, we have not seen it. We saw a low of 1331.92 was the low. And since then, we've gotten a couple bullish candles. So we start the week off at 1171. We finish the week off at 1178. So very volatile, this market, which I did expect, and I think I have mentioned before. 1177 was the starting point for the next week, and we finished off the week at 1196. Last week we started at 1181.88, so moved only down to 1176, and then finished the week off at 1200 even. Today we'll see what happens, but it does look like this market is trying to climb to this zone here between 1230 and 1255. I can tell you that a move below this key zone here, 1181, and I think I've mentioned this before, a move below this should have brought a lot more sellers, and we should have gone down, at least in my opinion, at least down to the low 1100 zone. As of yet, we haven't seen that move. And on the monthly zone, I think I've mentioned here on my previous this was the next level here. So we tested this 20-day moving average. So we tested this Bollinger Band here, 1144. And the Bollinger Bands, at least on the monthly, are still contracting. They're not at all expanding, which would be very bearish. But the weekly chart, again, looking very robust here. We have three decent bullish candles here. And we would expect the market to continue to go higher here on this weekly chart. If I'm looking at the daily chart here now, the stochastics on the weekly chart are also pointing higher, but looks like they're trying to decide if they're going to continue to go higher or maybe come back down. But the interesting thing about this market is, again, a break of this key support here, 1181, should have technically brought down lower prices, and they didn't. Okay, the market recouped very, very fast. You saw on this November 7th, we saw a huge move, almost $40 on Friday. The next Friday, another huge move. We saw the market started at 160, saw a low of 147, and ended up closing above 1180. So close above 1180 should have been positive, but you still had this 20-day moving average. On my previous video, I said that we were going to find some resistance here between 1200 and 1216. Okay, as of now, we're currently testing this level. And again, my zones work very, very, very well. You saw here that we actually tested this level here back in November 18th. And on the very next day, we had a huge move to the downside where we saw 1174. Now we're retesting this level here. The more we retest this level, the more likely it is that we're going to take this level out. Okay. On Friday, we saw another big move. Not really big, but we saw a break of this high here, 1204, and we saw a high of 1207. So currently, we're still testing. We're still creating new highs, at least short term. But in order for me to call this bullish, I need to take out two levels of zones, two zones for me, right? So this would be the first, this would be the second. I think a close above 1235 here on this daily chart here will prove to be very, very, very bullish. And I would probably suggest that we're probably going to be testing this level here, this $1,400 level here, within the next 6 months. If we break above this level on the weekly chart, the zone is 1255, not 1235, the way you saw it on the daily chart. Okay, so stochastics are a little bit overbought, so we could see a move back down here, and this is what I would expect, right? So now that we're above this 20-day moving average, what we want to see is a move above. We want to see a move coming back down. You want to retest this 20-day moving average, and if this 20-day moving average does not hold, then I would assume that we're going to create new lows. If this 20-day moving average does hold, then I would probably see something like this, where this market creates another high, This is going to be the final deciding fact if this market is going to continue to go down, or if this 20-day moving average, once it begins to curve and it starts to go this way, it'll hold us back and we can break new highs. But again, I'll say it again, a move above 1235 to 1255, a close above those levels, I would start getting ready for a multi-month bull market here in this precious metals. Okay, then we have silver. Silver, very similar, but as I said, with this key support level, we broke down this key support level at 1822, and what did we see? We saw a move come down here, come back up slightly, and continue to downside. This is not what we saw in gold, so I'm almost thinking that this is a false breakdown. But in order for this to be a false breakdown, like I said on my previous video, I'd like to see a close above 1215. Above 1215, 1216, there's a really good chance that this is a false breakdown, and at that point it's really just a matter of is this going to break above this level really easily, or if we're just going to zigzag here and finally break out. But anytime you have a significant break of a level, significant level, you want to you don't necessarily want to go back above that level. And this is how I predicted that the Dow Jones was going to fall when it did 8-9% here a few weeks ago. So we saw a big break of this, and we saw a really fast move to the upside. Again, technically, we shouldn't necessarily even be too far above the 1181 zone, because that was the flip zone. So now that we're above it, it seems that we're staying above it so far. We've been above that level here for now almost a week, since November 17th, and we're still above it. So at this point, we're either going to break down because we're going to see a big move to the downside, because this was a false break out above this level here, the 1181. So we're going to see a big move to the downside, or this was a false breakdown in the first place, and we're just going to continue to go higher. So I think the final days of this month will be the deciding factor if this market is going to go this way or if it's going to go that way. But I think we'll know pretty soon here. But we have a good engulfing candle here. So this engulfing candle suggests that we're going to see lower prices, and if we are going to see lower prices, they should come here within the next couple of days. Maybe because of the holidays, we'll see a little bit of a slowdown, but technically we should see it. And the same thing here for silver, testing my zone here, and we have seen, we have seen some decent action here to the downside, but again, not too far. We did come down to 1589. If you're shorting here, you want to take some profits over here with the stop loss roughly at around 1670, 1675. But again, at this point, we just really have to sit and wait and see what's going to happen, because again, I think the Swiss gold referendum, where they're going to go vote on possibly going back to the gold standard, is going to prove to be very significant here for this precious metals market. So maybe the market's just waiting for November 30th. But as of now, we'll just keep a close eye on it. 20-day moving average is still bearish, and we're not too far above this 20-day moving average. But what I do like to see, I'd like to see a move above this 20-day moving average, come back down, retest the 20-day moving average, and create new highs. That's the way we're going to see it, if that's the way it's going to happen. If not, then we're going to continue to break this down, and we're going to go lower. That's about it. Not much. Market's really flat, and at this point, we just want to see what's going to happen. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, but I will do another analysis on Wednesday here before the Thanksgiving break. I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.